BenFlyingRetro, and I'm embarking on a quest to purchase every classic GI Joe comic from the original 80s and 90s Marvel run.
Warning.
Hunting down individual issues from every corner of the globe in whatever order the universe decides to give me. Join me and my pal Steve every week as we discuss my latest find. Welcome to Chasing Joe. Chasing Joe. Hello and welcome to episode 24 of Chasing Joe, the most relentless comic book show on YouTube. My name is BenFlyingRetro, and as another week dissipates before our very eyes, the only one true constant in life is my postman and S-Jub7. How are you, good buddy?
Present and accounted for, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
How we doing?
We're back, baby. We're winning. We're going from strength to strength. Chasing Joe records another episode. You can't stop us, baby.
No,
Rain,
man.
shine, Christmas, New Year's,
Dude.
We are unstoppable.
I've been getting such nice comments about this show. It gives me that warm feeling in my gizzards. Another thing that gives me...
Here, I mean, you're prodding your belly. Like,
aren't
the
your
gizzards deep?
Like, if you were in a war film and you get shot and your gizzards are everywhere, that's not your throat, is it? That's like your
I thought
bits.
you cut someone's gizzards.
Maybe, dude, you're probably right.
Way off.
When you did that, though, that looked so menacing when you did that. Yeah.
Ben, if you ever meet me in real life, you will no longer have any sense of menace whatsoever.
I want to meet you in real life. This is ridiculous.
I know,
When's it going to happen? I would suggest you've got more chance of me
coming to Blighty. Oh, coming to South Africa? Australia.
No, to Australia. Because
No.
Emma, she wants to take the children there. So we spent so much time there, living there, but our children are unaware of that land.
Well, I'll meet you in Gold Coast, mate.
Yeah, buddy.
We're down for the weekend. Yeah.
Because
where am I going to be a year from now anyway? Melbourne, Cape Town, Dark Side of the Moon. Who knows? But we will be doing Chasing Joe. That, my friend, is a constant.
Dude, we got another 3 years at least of doing this. And then someone suggested Chasing Figs, although I don't know if the Amex card can handle that one. Whew. Well, I listened to your show. What was your show about GI Joe in 2035? Was it? Future.
Paul came up with the idea that we did
a
throw forward into the future of like what the brand will be doing 10 years from now. But I, of course, was opposed to the idea. I find such topics to be kind of arbitrary. Like, what is 10 years? I'll still be just as into my vintage Crocmaster 10 years from now as I was 10 years ago and 10 years before that.
That's not a real card back of Crocmaster.
This is how they peddled him on the Action Force card. This is how we got him in South Africa. But this is actually sourced from Greece. It's got drachma on the... 650 drachma is what this would have cost you back in 1989, I'm going to say. Maybe 1990.
Yeah, interested in that show when you spoke about the plastic and, you know, how long does it actually last? Like, how long are we going to be able to get these vintage figs off of eBay and it actually be a thing? Like, as the decades roll on, I don't know. I mean,
I think we'll
feel...
all be eating our meals through straws before the plastic fails us. If you can overlook the odd elbow crack and broken crotch, you know, the obvious deficiencies of the O-ring stuff, I think those figures will outlive us all. Don't you worry. Even the paper will outlive us all.
Something that didn't outlive us all. Blockbuster Video.
Wow.
Got myself a bag. What's in the bag? Not the late fees on this would be ridiculous if there was a VHS in here.
I think you're off the hook. I think they're no longer collecting those fees. Wait, there's one Blockbuster in the United States, isn't there?
It's trendy Portland, isn't it?
It's a pilgrimage if you're a real fan. There's one that still is in existence.
I actually have
Anyway,
got a
please continue.
podcast. I've got a podcast in me about Blockbuster. I'm so obsessed with that brand and that company. But look, what is going on here? What do you see? I'm seeing the
maple leaf.
Canadian flag. I'm seeing fragile. I'm seeing, what does this say? What does
Fragile,
it say? Do not self-drop. Clues.
That's kind of what the first responder told me when I was delivering my son.
Look, this is, where's the info here? This is from the Swish Pop. This is Sean from Canada. The Swish Pop got in touch with me on Instagram and sent me this all the way from Canada. Oh,
Friends in high places.
Canada, our home and something. Canada, never been, would love to go to Whistler and snowboard. Don't know if it will happen, but if I do, I'll be sure to give the Swish Pop a phone call. I don't know. Let's open this
I'd like to go visit my boy Word Burglar.
The rapper.
Sean J. Wordberg. Yeah.
Isn't this so cool? This has come all the way from Canada. Damn it. What's with the tape in Canada, man? They made it strong.
They don't F around. They know they got crazy loose guys just south of the border. They keep that shit on lock.
Look at
A
this.
Canadian Joe book.
Gemini Comic Supply.
Huh.
Oh, things are happening. Things are happening. Something else
Very
came out
nice.
of that package. What have we got here? It's issue 99. February 20th, 1990. April cover date slapped on its guts. Wow. Look, now something else came out. Oh my days. Sean has sent me sealed wax. Oh my goodness. Now I had this
Impel
set.
trading cards.
Oh my god, right. I've got top loaders at the ready. I've got penny
You've gotta
sleeves.
crack into that on the show.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
There's no getting past it.
I've
This is
never
not about
had.
the comic books anymore. This is about trading cards.
So I ordered, I just bought the set, the base set, when I was younger. And I've lost it. Don't know where it is. This is joyous. Give me a year on these. 1992. Oh, no. Offer expires March 31st. There's some kind of free GI Joe trading card checklist. Yeah, copyright 91. Now, I want to be careful opening these because I might send some of these off for grading. Although they're in a... I'm not used to... This isn't foil.
Something tells me they're not high demand or high value cards, but for a Joe collector,
Come on,
It's
we
a
pull a
must-have
snake
set.
eyes. What are we going to pull? Who have we got?
Badger.
Badger.
Beautiful.
Look at this. I'm a box breaker. Who we got here?
Serpentor. And that's the kind of the memorial roll. That's a deceased Serpentor card.
Ooh.
Cesspool.
Yes.
Great radio.
Wow.
Sorry, guys. Ben is flipping through his cards. Charbroil. Lovely.
Lovely. Ooh, special missions.
Number 1. Yes. Torpedo and Wetsuit blasting away on their Mac-10s. Incinerator.
This is so
Hot and Fresh
awesome.
from 1991.
Honestly,
Ooh.
pack fresh.
Issue 19. The Trojan Gambit. Not the Trojan Gambit. The... I don't know, there's a
I'm
reference to the
sending...
Trojan horse.
Ooh, apt.
Sky Striker.
I tell you what, right now, I'm sending that cesspool to PSA. I'm slabbing that
Good luck.
up.
All right. Captain Gridiron.
Come on, let's pull
Firing
something
off a
big.
Football grenade. Cobra Commander. No, it's Interrogator. Right. Interrogator on his battlecopter.
I'm really
Also
going to update my
1991
computer because
Debutante.
this. Another special mish.
One of the later ones.
Camera
I didn't
is
like that
guff.
one. When we get to it, remind me that I'm not a fan.
Ooh, one of my
yes.
favorite covers. Right,
Is that
let's
a walk
just
through the jungle? I don't know. Something like that. It's a good cover.
Dude, Sean, that is so appreciated. Let me just live... Where's that cesspool? Let's just do a little bit of admin.
Oh my goodness.
Look, S-Jubs. Right, let a man... Let's just have a look at the centering. Okay. This is card 1. Centering looks
if comic
good.
books are my thing, cards most certainly are out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah, but these are Joe
Send it away.
cards. Look,
Send it
I got
away.
penny sleeves. Okay, let's just get a sleeve on this.
Ben was ready for this show. My goodness.
Issue 99 mean anything to you?
0. I did not have this as a child. I didn't have anything remotely related to this part of the run. So,
Okay,
an
let's get this in a top
interesting
loader.
read.
Let's just get it in a top loader, and this will get sent off to PSA. Let's hope for a 10. Let's just bang that down. Dude, it looks good. I think the corners look good. That's getting sent off. Beautiful. Right, what else was in here? A comic.
Getting back to the main event.
First of all, though, I've got to give people the cultural landscape of February 1990.
Oh, yeah.
So, it was a new decade, and as Holly McClane says in Die Hard 2, wake up and smell the 90s, S-Jubs. She also said, honey, it's the 90s, remember, microchips, microwaves, faxes, airphones. A Big Mac meal would have cost you $2.99. I don't know if that's ever going to change on this show. It's perpetually $2.99. The multiplexes were a bit of a snooze fest with Driving Miss Daisy, Hard to Kill, Oliver Stone's Born on the 4th of July, the Billboard 200 #1 album, MC Hammer had the top album with Please Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em. And the shelves in Toys R Us were busting with Rock Vipers, Range Vipers, Saw Vipers, Laser Vipers, and Sky Patrol. Video games. Nintendo released Super Mario Bros. In February. Super Mario Bros. 3 on the NES in North America. It sold 17.2 million copies, making it the best-selling standalone video game of all time. And after that, if you've got any breath left, you've had a wild Saturday. You stumbled into the comic shop. You could get this. You could have also got the Incredible Hulk issue 368, where Hulk throws down with Mr. Hyde for the first time. That's the cultural landscape, people.
Open and shut.
It was a
Throws
better
down with
time.
Mr. Hyde. How did they uppower Mr. Hyde to go toe-to-toe with the Hulk?
Well, dude,
You got to read that issue and find out.
get issue 368 of the Hulk. We don't have that here. We have issue 99. This is
Ben, did you ever watch The Wizard?
The Wizard.
Is that the video game, the movie where the big reveal at the end is a video game tournament where they play Super Mario Bros. 3? Is that called The Wizard? I'm dying to see it. To be honest.
No,
Not that
that's
I'm
not ringing any bells.
Right. Okay.
Nothing. It's not stirring
Comments,
my
help
loins.
us out, guys.
Oh, they will. They will. What have we got here? We need to do a smell test. These Canadian comic bags are thick, very
Immaculate.
plasticky. Let's pull it out. Whoa. Lovely. Let's do a smell test on this book. I don't know the story of this book. When Sean got it. Oh, Canadian maple. That's Canadian maple right there. That's wood.
Is that just what the streets of Canada smell like?
I think Canada, don't they basically make every skateboard? Isn't every skateboard made out of maple? I think it might be. I don't know. Could have got that totally wrong. Can I confirm or deny?
Getting some maple. Some...
Yeah,
trees.
not syrup. Not the syrup. I'm getting the actual wood.
Nice.
This is such a... It feels like it's overprinted. Like this was rolling off the printer and that pinky purple is just powerful. It's almost got kind of print lines almost. The gradient is so hardcore. And that stark green of Rolling Thunder and Lady J.
It's a handsome combination, the green and the pinks and purples. So Lady J on the cover, standing atop a Rolling Thunder, with sci-fi in one of the gun chairs, Flint in the sort of the command turret, Armadillo is in the cockpit. It looks like
good spot. It's
a Lee Weeks cover, and it's understated, but it's pretty striking.
He's got Lee Weeks 1989. That's when he drew it. That's when he drew it.
Yeah.
That's when he drew it. He's not.
I guess they were working like 4 months in advance back then. Is that possible?
2 Joes have been brainwashed by Cobra, and they're about to enter the pit. Well, I kind of initially looked at this and I was like, that's a Nothing Burger cover. Actually, it is. It's very bold. I mean, it's seriously striking. It kind of an
probably the most exciting thing that they could have picked out in the issue. Let's be fair. This issue is a lot of moving chess pieces into position.
You may have been
at the landlocked freight on Cobra Island, Zartan takes control, wrestles control from Fred 7 and Mindbender and Raptor and everyone else, and tries to formulate a plan for them to dig their way out. In Millville, we've got Spirit and Mutt taking a furlough with Mutt's Uncle Jeff. Spirit is none too pleased with the state of the town of Millville since the steel mill closed. On Brocker Beach, Zorana is interred in the prison cell. A recently revived Cobra Commander, the original Cobra Commander, pays her a visit, and she's like, "You need me. I control Road Pig et al., and I've got a secret hidden ace. I can control 2 Joes that are about to be sent back to the pit." In the Pentagon, said 2 Joes, Clutch and Rock and Roll, are being chastised by, a committee, and are sent on their way back to the Pit 3 on a C-130. On the ground in Arizona, it's Utah, yeah. At the Pit 3, we've got 2, what would you call them? Conspiracy theorists, 2 teenage girls, Roxanne and Tiffany, who wanted to get a closer gander at this alien research station, aka the Pit. And they get intercepted by Lady J and the rest of the Joes doing nighttime maneuvers. And then finally, Cobra Commander launches a massive invasion force to go and take the small town of Millville.
No one, and I mean no one, can do a synopsis like S-Jub 7.
Bit of waffly, but yeah, those are broad strokes of the issue. There are some key moments in it, but most of it is just really like, this is what this group is doing. This is what that group is doing.
Yeah.
This is what the other group is doing. And that's typical Larry. When he has enough space to tell these stories, sometimes you have an issue where it's really just like logistic.
Yeah. Did you say Roxanne and Tiffany?
Yeah. Rox and Tiff.
They sound like backup singers for GNR.
Well, in 89, Tiffany was on the... Oh, no, 87. So, no, she would have been on the way out by now. But, Tiffany was rocking with, I Think We're Alone Now, that cover of that 60s rock and roll track.
It's a banger.
And then there's a reference in this book, like, when they say, I'm Rox, I'm Tiff, to Lady J. She's like, Roxanne and Tiffany? And they were like, yeah, we know. I don't know what the cultural reference is there.
No, nor do I. Nor do I. I mean, the police.
My first thought ran to Tiffany, the pop star of that era.
Yeah, for sure. Now, what's the situation with this book? Have you got it in hand?
I do not. I have the trade. I have IDW's 10th trade paperback, classic GI Joe.
How was it on the trade? How was it? How was the image?
Very heavy on the image.
Can I just have a look at? Does it do the covers? Yeah.
Yeah, covers are included, even though they are cropped a little bit. Well, not cropped. They occupy a smaller.
Yeah, you see, you're not getting that.
Storm.
I mean, yeah, the
gutter, your nemesis.
Look at the punch, though. You're missing the punch. Quite literally, the fruit punch of that pinky purple.
Fortunately, well, you always criticize my shitty laptop camera. It does wash out the colors. Trust me, they're a bit more vivid in the flesh. But fortunately, I can use a scan of the actual issue.
What do you think's happened to Flint's face there?
So I'm
grizzled.
This is a Lee Weeks cover, but there are a few strange faces in this because we have a returning penciler on the main title in the form of Herb Trimpe.
Calm before
and he does
storm.
some interesting looking faces up front.
Dude, I've got that in my notes, buddy.
Oh, really?
I've got it in my notes.
Well,
yeah, well.
Special Missions has just kind of finished up. I guess Herb was not on the main book for the longest time. So this is him filling in for MD Bright. And it's not like he's forgotten how to draw faces or anything, but there's some strange expressions happening in this book.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, we might as well talk about this first little vignette that we get. You know, you're trapped under a volcano and you've got two shirtless nutters to turn to. Those are your leaders. And look at Mindbender's, I don't know, weird head. Kind of, yeah, very strange.
Yep.
I mean,
inexplicable.
He has drawn Mindbender very peculiarly there.
It gets more intriguing with some of the later images, particularly of Zartan. I don't know.
Yeah.
Strange illustrations.
This is scary for these guys. I mean, they are in tea rubble, and the poor Viper is catatonic with self-pity. I will
make mention of the fact that we are seeing Vipers, just regular Vipers, locked up in that freighter as traitors. Meanwhile, they probably didn't really make any decisions for themselves. They literally were just in the employ or under the control of Fred 7. But this particular Viper who's losing it is a great example of a Viper without a faceplate. Which gives credence to the theory that the silver mask can kind of recede up into the helmet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they've got a pair of goggles.
It's almost like he's never felt his face for the first time. He's kind of just like, but look, I'm with him. I mean, it is a dire situation they find themselves in. I mean, Zartan just wants them digging round the clock. And hopefully they make it out before the food runs out. But, they're in T-Rubble. What named Cobras, big hitters, do we have down there? Mindbender, Fred 7,
Raptor,
Zartan.
Voltar on the Destro camp. He got
but not featured here.
No, not featured here, no.
Yeah.
Captain Min, who actually didn't he have a score to settle with Fred 7? Why isn't he trying to choke him out at this point? I don't know.
Fred 7
left him for dead on Captain Min's freighter when he hops off on a pogo.
Fred 7's got good dialogue in here. What does he call Zartan? He's got beef with Zartan. It's great. Where is it? Oh, I've got the book here. What am I doing? I'll just find it myself.
Do it, brother. Just hold on a minute here, napkin head.
That's it, Napkin Head.
You in charge anyway.
Napkin Head is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, another weird facial expression. So that deals with these guys, and then we just cut straight to Cobra Commander, just in his pomp, ceremony, trumpets. He's holding infant babies.
Yeah,
fantastic. Gives Buzzer a kick.
And gives him a like, "Oh, that really is the real Cobra Commander. I recognize that kick."
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah, his march there, he's almost doing that sort of like the Vince McMahon walk, or it's just bizarre.
And like I hadn't noticed this on the first read, but certainly on the second read, that you've got like children like throwing potpourri petals in his path.
Yeah, he loves all that.
What an absolute despot.
Yeah, Cobra Commander loves all this though. This is his jam.
I love Herb Trimpe. He's back doing like his kind of 20 minutes into the future tech designs. Like this Cobra helicopter in the background is so typical of Trimpy's like first 10 issues on GI Joe. It's just so nice. He's an aviation enthusiast, and he's taken like little cuttings of various real world helicopters and smooshed them all together.
Yeah, kind of a mishmash of different helos. I love that.
Yeah,
I like that. It makes me think how that. On the Death Star trench. New Hope.
Pods, eh?
Yeah, they just went to the store and just bought all these different tanks and battleships and just like, so creative. Love that. Let me just pour into my notes here. Oh yeah, so you were talking about basically how it cuts to these different things, and I absolutely adore how it's kind of cinematic, how it jump cuts to the next scene with the bus driver after this scene here. It's just
we don't go back. Oftentimes Larry like revisits previous scenes, but this time all these vignettes are self-contained and then they're done.
Yeah. But you could just imagine that in a movie, you just like right up in that guy's grill as he tells them to get off. And these are some, like a little bit of a change of tone now, because there's actually quite a lot of humor in those first few pages. But I love how he's drawn these kind of worn, torn streets. And as you mentioned, the mill closed down and they kind of get abuse
kind of drawn to the dogs. Look, this I found quite affecting because it comes back to that old saying of like, you can never really go home. It's never going to be the way you remember it. Like Mutt is singing the praises of this town and how they used to spend summers with his aunt and uncle, and all the cousins were around, and it was just so festive. And of course, that has all completely moved on. Like the aunt's dead, the uncle's let his house, much like the rest of the town, kind of go to rack and ruin. Everyone's moved to California. Like these guys aren't in for a good time. And Spirit's a bit of a Debbie Downer, but he's being realistic by saying like everything changes, Mutt. Looks like the carnival left town a long time ago, pal.
What the heck is fast trackers rule? They get shouted at by a bunch of youths in a car.
Get off the street, old timers! Your time is over. Fast trackers rule. I guess it's the old live fast, die young kind of adage.
Gagging for me to be like running on the pavement and a bunch of teens do that to me. Oh my days. I ain't no fast tracker.
What are you gonna do, dude? They will run you down, man.
No, they wouldn't run down BenFlyingRetro. I'd chase after him, S-Jubs.
Judo chop.
And then I'll try and make them understand. Now, they wander around. They go to Uncle Jeff's house. Oh, yeah. And for me, that literally looks like Vecna's house from Stranger Things. I don't know if you've watched. It is an incredible
house.
Look, that is Vecna's house. It is creepy as. Yeah, he's in the top there. That's where Vecna is. Yeah, they got some beautiful repeat panels in this next scene.
Oh, where, very poignant.
Yeah, because comic panels, that's a whole page. And there's 2 bubbles and a woof. But you can just sit in that scene a little bit longer, because with comic books, panel by panel, you're moving fast. And yeah, there's just... Look at the subtle differences in each of those. There's barely anything changing, just a head move. Really cool.
I assume we're both old enough to have had a few of these awkward moments before, where you've intruded upon someone's life and you've just realized, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have asked if I could spend the next 5 days with you, Uncle Jeff. Like,
in Vecna's house.
Those glory days have passed us all by, and this is very, very awkward.
Yeah, for sure.
I found this extremely, extremely affecting. I guess because in many respects, and maybe you commiserate because you're a nostalgia junkie, like, you want to be able to relive the past. You want to be able to access it and to find it, but it's moved on. It doesn't exist anymore, except in your nostalgia, in your memory banks.
Yes, 100%. That's very true.
Is
And
coming back to this unfortunate reality. After he's convinced Spirit, like, man, we're gonna have the best time. You gotta come with me for the next 5 days. We're going to Millville. This is gonna be great. And now the
Bloody
very
depressing
sobering reality that, like, oh yeah,
yeah, I think
great.
at the moment I'm replaying Desert Strike because I think we mentioned it on this show, and I thought I'll order Desert Strike. And look, it's great replaying it. I'm having fun, but when you want to go back and you want to, it's actually not that I want to play Desert Strike. What you're actually chasing is the feeling of when you played Desert Strike. That's actually what you're trying to get to. You're trying to get back to your sort of inner child.
Are you getting some measure of it though?
Yes.
Or is it inaccessible?
Yeah. Okay. It's making me sort of reflect and think, but a lot of times with retro gaming and other things, the experience can be like, maybe I shouldn't have done this because it's difficult but no, I mean, I should have done it because Desert Strike is fantastic. But what I'm trying to, you're usually chasing a feeling, and, when you had so much freedom and time, that's kind of what you're chasing. You don't actually want to play GoldenEye. You want to go back to when you had all your mates around you and you were all playing it and stuff like that. But I'm a nostalgia junkie, so do whatever you got to do. Now, you mentioned the UFO crowd. A lot of pages on those guys. Like a big chunk of the book with these two clowns running around looking for UFOs.
Yes, I could have done with less of Tiffany and Roxanne, but they're Avatar characters. They're our key into this world. They are seeing GI Joe's headquarters for the first time, and it's like it's in the middle of the desert. There are a whole lot of crazy light effects going on, massive machinery moving around in the dark, because GI Joe do their maneuvers after dark to
don't we all?
From
you definitely
from
do.
Spy satellites. So yeah, look, it must be quite a spectacle for the uninitiated. Imagine seeing an MCC grind past you. They even call out like nothing on Earth could be that big. It was as big as a sand crawler.
Oh,
bigger.
Love that. I mean,
I've
they
made
are
the gag a few times on GI Joburg that yes, GI Joe Sandcrawler would be the MCC for sure.
Lovely profile there of Wild Bill. Beautiful. Whoa.
Wearing red goggles, which in this world, I guess, is a stand-in for NVGs, like night vision goggles. Like
some kind
that's
of
not what they look like in the real world, but because Lowlight has them, I think that's now coded as GI Joe for stuff you put on your eyes to make
at night
you see better at night. Yeah, basically.
Lady J basically just describes the location and tells them all about the pit as well. Just tells that to two random civilians.
You kind of expect a Men in Black neuralizer to come out at some point to kind of zap their memories.
Larry's just sort of scene setting, isn't he? And just telling the reader, this is what's going on.
Well, there is that moment where the girls are like, "You're gonna kill us?" And she's like, "Hell no! I took an oath to protect you, so you are my priority. Like, all of this stuff is in service of you, the American civilian population. So no, you're perfectly safe. You are safer here than in any other place."
Look, Lady J, she sees civilians as taxpayers, so we know that. Now, we did skip forward a little bit there.
Oh, yes.
I can only describe this, the third vignette with Clutch and Rock and Roll as Blue Clutch.
Oh.
What?
Yep.
It's kind of... I'm getting Clark Kent weird. I don't know. What's going on with Blue Clutch?
It's a strangely colored book because a couple of pages before you had Cobra Commander well over inked. Like he was black. Yeah. Now you've got Clutch, who should have jet black hair, and it's
I get that
blue.
In comics you do the the blue for black sometimes, but it's just,
Look, I'm not close enough to comic books of the 80s and 90s to know why that choice was made, but a professional colorist did this and called it good. So,
look at them both there together. Right, you know, rock
there's
and
a
roll.
running gag that rock and roll and
blonde
Clutch were lovers. Why do they always spend their free time together?
But they're best pals.
Make of that what you will. I don't know, dude. People love to create scandal, don't they?
But it's kind of, every panel he's rocking that blue hair. He's like a punk.
So does the I don't know, the dude who's cross-examining them or interviewing them.
Oh, yeah? Oh, my days, yeah.
Senator Hagel. Yeah.
Well, look, you were talking about helos before. I mean, you must have gone buck wild on the last page.
Yes, we have a beautiful... Well, we got two
actually,
great shots.
before that...
Beach. Everything's pouring out of those sort of shop fronts. We've got some very kind of new Cobra hardware. Transport helicopters that don't evoke the classic Aspid Cobra transport helicopter. And then we've got what I can only describe as Herb Trimpe's understanding of what a Mamba actually looks like by having a sort of a central cockpit and not sort of three pods. And he did the same thing in a yearbook. I think it was yearbook 3.
We'll get around to those.
We will. But yes, this is an absolute orgy of Cobra helicopters. Sikorsky Sky Crane looking ones with twin, like 2 HISS tanks underneath.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, that is joyous. I mean, you said everything's coming out the shop fronts, but there's something really big coming out of that shop front on the left. Absolutely ginormous.
Look at Sky Cranes are pretty big helos, my friend.
Yeah, it's really big. I don't know what that shop was, but the town is just transforming. A lot of bodies on the ground, a lot of Vipers, kind of only Vipers.
Yeah, it strains disbelief a little bit because you see the wide sort of aerial shot of all that Broker Beach is. And it's basically like a boardwalk, a high street, and a few dotted things like a church and a water tower. I mean, if all of those things hold Cobra hardware, where do the civilians possibly live?
Yeah. I mean, but this book ends on an absolute, 100, issue 100 is a special double-sized don't miss issue. You would have been jonesing for that after you just read this. Got to wait a whole nother month until you get that, until you get the setup of what this book is. Who knows when me and you will get round to it? It's not how the show works, ladies and gentlemen. Could be
Russian roulette of comic books.
Could be a year, could be 2 years. But
the issue spoils itself in one regard, Ben.
How does it spoil itself?
So you've got this plot percolating of the 2 Joes seated in the Pit 3 in Utah. And they are going to, at Zorana's command...
What are the keywords?
Wreak havoc. Well, I don't know, but brainwashing definitely buzzes their berries a little bit.
Yeah.
But Cobra Command is sending this huge flotilla or armada of helicopters somewhere.
Yeah.
He should have kept it ambiguous as to where the helicopters were going. Instead, he names it in the final panel. We're going to Millville. So clearly they're not going to where the pit is. They're going to attack on some other front. Was that deliberate? I mean, it must have been deliberate. But don't you think that spoils some of that thunder? Like, are we building towards a massive confrontation in issue 100? But already we've been spoiled that, no, Cobra Commander is not heading to the pit. He's just going to do something else, somewhere else.
I have to say, as I was reading it and just sort of rushing through it and like, oh, this is exciting, in my head, I'm like, oh, they're flying to the pit. But no.
Soz, brew.
Yes, soz, brew.
Sorry, brew. Every once in every while, I become a South African again.
Oh, dude.
Tonight. You like
Jeez, look at this.
Ooh, show me.
Legion of Doom?
Okay. Be a Video Warrior. All right. Is that a NES title? Yes, it is. Nintendo.
Yeah.
Who's the publisher on that?
Me and Phoenix watched the Royal Rumble because it's all on Netflix. It's a different scene now, WWE. Very
Take your
different.
word for it, my friend. Though, that said, now that I am at my parents' place for a little while, I check out their satellite television and I see like Raw and, I don't know, wrestling shows. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow.
Well, it's all on
I don't
Netflix
get
now.
it. I still do not get it.
You don't get it. Do you not get it? Right.
The theatrics, maybe? I
It's
don't
sports entertainment, my man.
know. It is that.
It is that.
There's just so much of it, and I'm so like, but hang on. I mean, I see the athleticism, but I also just see some very hokey like slaps and blows that don't connect, and like theatrics that just don't sell for me.
Oh,
Anyway.
jeez. That's what it's all about. You need the hokiness. Look at this. Some bizarre, like dream machines. A Lamborghini Countach. Had one of those up on the bedroom wall, I can tell you that. Just flicking through, looking for ads. Yeah, not much happening, really. Oh, here we go. Go head-to-head wireless.
So these were IR beam controllers for Nintendo. Do you know if they worked?
Third party. Chief would have loved these. Anything third party. I was the opposite.
Think wireless at that point would be very responsive. I'm pretty sure some very frustrated kids and gamers out there were like, this sucks. This is nowhere near as responsive as actually like a wired controller.
Well, look, this issue...
We're way off from Bluetooth.
Thanks to Sean all the way from Canada. What an absolute gem. I've got a pile of... look at fresh trading cards from 91. That is so generous. I'm so chuffed with those. Big nostalgia for these. Now, obviously you have a base set. It's a big set, if I remember. Maybe 200 plus cards. It's giant.
So, Ben, some episodes back, we were in the trenches of discussing the Sky Striker's central or centerline bomb gun pod.
No.
Get that card. Get that card out. What does it say?
I was going to say get the Sky Striker. It's just around there. Let's have a look.
This is mine. Ta-da!
First, there's the card.
Yes.
A nice card.
Beautiful card.
Geez, that is a really small font.
Because I checked, old boy.
Armaments, 20mm automatic machine gun, 675 rounds, 6 Phoenix, Sparrow, and Sidewinder air-to-air missiles. Is that what you're saying then? Are you saying it's the automatic machine gun?
Affirmative.
Doesn't
so
look
it would
like
be more of a cannon.
Yeah. Wow. It doesn't say anything about a big fuel pod.
Or bomb. You said it was a sort of a city clearer.
Well, I like the idea that it's extra fuel. I'm just reading this now. These cards are great. Series
the copy
1
is very hokey. Come on.
Yeah. No, but dude, look at that. The images are great. I mean,
I love those cards because the write-ups are so cockamamie. They are really no order of battle or blueprints or tech specs. They are pretty thumbsucky nonsense at times. And I'm so here for that.
I would have read the hell out of them when I was younger, but I don't have too many memories of the details. But I'll be, reading these later. Let me just grab it because I still don't really believe what you're saying.
There's a detail on that pod which looks like gun barrels. And that's
goddamn headphones.
what I based that upon. And also, like,
okay,
the F-14 of the time was featured in Macross and Robotech. I know it was a Veritech fighter.
Dude, where do the bullets come out?
Those 4 points. Those 4 recesses.
Yeah. Wait,
what was yours facing the wrong way?
What does the sticker on it say?
Who
knows? Danger.
But look, read the blueprints if you don't believe me, because that should be the trump card. And
also, dude, why is it detachable though? Why is it detachable?
It's a gun pod. So, okay. put differently, there was once this notion in air-to-air combat that gunfighting was dead, that all engagements would happen almost beyond visual range, and they'd all be determined by missiles. The gun was like no jets would be close in enough to have their conflict determined by a cannon.
Dude, I think you're right.
But then in Vietnam, it started becoming evident that like planes were getting closer and closer, and yes, it would be very useful to be able to squirt some cannon rounds at your MiG opponent, and that's why the F4s were initially upgraded to have external gun pods, and then ultimately they got internal guns. But yeah, this is that willed into toy form.
Haven't stopped playing with this bad boy.
Yes, I'm so glad to hear that. Do you take it outside, Ben? Let it glint in the sunlight.
Oh,
if Blighty's getting any sunlight.
How do you, when you do play motion, how do you like? Oh, it's got so many opportunities for like fixed cam kind of work. You know, taping your iPhone to it, or a GoPro would be lovely.
Have done in the past.
Do you know, I did a few little experiments, and what I found good was to rock the footage backwards. And then you can do like really technical turns and go through like really thin gaps.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
And then you just play it the other way.
New techniques.
Yeah, but you play it the other way, and then it looks like you're just like, you'd be like, how the heck did he make that turn and go through this really thin thing?
Do you also go with wide lens?
You walk through it backwards, you see, and then...
Because a wide lens for aviation particularly creates that lovely, like, tunnel vision where, of course, the edges of frame are moving a lot faster than what's happening right in the middle of the frame.
Yeah. Also,
it kind of bends the image slightly, so you got that lovely wingspan within the frame. Also, with the jets filming in slow-mo.
Yeah. And maybe filming at like 60 frames and just that kind of nice,
smooth
buttery...
I would even go as fast as 120, maybe 240 if your phone supports it. And you
it's
can
too
always,
much for me.
You can always speed it up afterwards.
You can. 240. I mean, no one's got time to watch 240. Like 120 is nice. You do lose big quality.
If you do a parachute drop, you want to do 240.
Oh,
just
yeah.
The parachute like furl naturally, like a full-scale parachute would.
What also works is like a Gorilla Pod. You can mount the Gorilla Pod on the front and have it fixed, and you can just spin round as fast as you can, and you get the most gorgeous carnage going behind the cockpit.
All right, Benjamin.
You know,
when are we going to see some of this footage?
I'm experimenting. I'm putting together a goddamn masterpiece.
Get us a sizzle reel. We'll feature it on Chasing Joe. All you podcast listeners better jump onto the YouTube channel at that point.
But it's indoors and outdoors. There's something about running around with a vehicle in the home that's just so visually interesting. Because that's what you did.
Raised on the Death Star runs. Like, you know, banking, like knife edging through a door frame. Yes.
Dude, I've got to show you this door frame shot because I don't feel like you can understand what I'm talking about.
I feel like I can understand exactly what you're talking about because I've probably done it about a dozen times myself.
Yeah. Woohoo! Yep. Well, look, that was
plastic in this issue, though. Was there anything that jumped out at you?
Let me just put this bad boy down.
Good luck. I'm trying to think myself. Trimpy's always going to throw tasty things into the frame that you could never own, like the Sikorsky Skytrains.
No, not much that jumped out to me. Just that I saw my junkyard the other day, and I thought, I've got junkyard. I must make sure he's okay, and my actual dog doesn't eat him, because that would be bad. So, plastic. Nothing.
Look at all the hardware in the desert. We've got an MCC unfolded. So canonically, it can do that. Yeah, it's not just a toyetic feature. The MCC doing its kind of tackle box unfold maneuver
is that Slipstream's vehicle?
Steamroller. Good.
No. In the plane.
The plane is the Conquest, but this is the Pythonized Cobra version. Sold by Darklon to Cobra Command for cents on the dollar, I guess. I don't know. Probably gave them a good deal.
Why is wait.
We've got
because
the Thunderclap, dude. GI Joe's big gun moving down the heavy equipment ramp of the pit. That's a glorious panel.
That is joyous. I don't know the first thing about that as a toy.
It was my main GI Joe base, let me tell you, my friend. When I got that, it was the center of my playtime.
Circa when?
1998 is when I got mine. But this is a 1989 American release, 1991 Euro release.
Did we...
Weird panels of it. Like, there's a panel where it's only picked out in inks. I don't think Herb's pencils... Maybe they did. I don't know. It's just inked. It's not penciled.
Was there a photograph of that toy in the catalogue that we reviewed?
Yes. Yes. The 1991 Benelux catalog.
Yes.
Would have had it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember thinking that I was like, I'm not familiar with that toy at all. So you're big on this. So this is great for it to get some panel time for you.
And very kind of mysterious panel time. Like it's obscured. It's in the dark. We're seeing it through Roxanne and Tiffany's eyes, essentially.
Yeah.
But Ben, ask and ye shall receive, plucking it back from the annals of history when Talking Joe and GI Joburg teamed up to talk about the 1991 Benelux catalog. Here's an image of the Thunderclap.
Oh, wow.
Rood alarm, red alert. De GI Joe staan klaar op het kleinste teken te reageren.
That is a beautiful photo.
The GI Joes are looking for the smallest sign to react to, I think. I don't know Dutch. I know Afrikaans.
Yeah, it feels quite kind of real world when they were producing a lot of stuff that wasn't. I mean, what I mean, you know, what sort of
they weren't making this
is that
overly
toyetic? Yeah, that's firing some big shells, man.
Yep.
It's kind of old school warfare, though, isn't it? It's just like, I mean, what are you doing with that? Like, range, I don't know, 5 miles, shoot.
It's drawing inspiration from at least 2 major sources. So in the Second World War, the Germans had a bunch of rail-mounted artillery pieces.
They had one that could go over the channel, didn't they? They could fire it from France, I believe, and they could hit London. I don't know if that's real. I mean, how do they know what they're hitting? It's
indirect fire. It's moral.
The figures look tiny. It's great. It's big. That is big.
It's massive. It's a big gun, and it's also taking inspiration from Atomic Annie, which is a artillery piece that could actually fire an A bomb. This scary shit actually existed, and boy oh boy, in the 80s, Hasbro decided to peddle to kids.
Yeah, and how is that moving? What have you got? Plastic tracks with wheels underneath?
The main gun is actually a towable weapon, towable and tractorable. So you've got a rear pusher vehicle, and you've got a forward puller vehicle. So you've got 2 detachable mini tanks, which are every bit more fun than the whole shebang combined.
Yeah.
Like those things were like effectively as much toy as a his tank. Same amount of engineering and design, plus a few more extra missiles for your buck. Single occupants on each. Cool control panels, seat belts.
That is
they were great mini vehicles.
Fun feature that it comes with those 2 guys. Wow.
Well, there were a lot of break-apart features in the late 80s, early 90s, and I was a fan because
it's so
you bought
cool.
1 vehicle and 3 friends could play.
As a kid, it's wild when you have that. It's just so fun. Yeah, for sure.
And that's why it became like my base. Like the main cannon body was the base to be defended, and the 2 vehicles were the sort of the perimeter patrols. Woe betide any of them got destroyed, because then you were stranded. That was the main chink in the armor. But
what's the cockpit situation
it was pretty fun
with those 2 vehicles? Cockpit situation with those vehicles.
All right, so the rear vehicle flips backwards, and the front vehicle flips forwards. The front vehicle is far more superior. I mean, it's got a cool like screen. The figure fits more snugly in it. The rear vehicle, I find his head kind of smooshes up against the ceiling a bit. But yeah, the rear vehicle is just an afterthought.
Wait,
I would seldom put a figure inside there to begin with.
And it comes with Steamroller.
Very good, but no. This was Long Range's ride. Long Range is an artilleryman. The European file card had him coming from Cardiff, I think. I don't remember what the American file card sets him as, but fun fact, the card was regionalized. So in the United States, he could fire a shell from one baseball stadium in New York to another baseball stadium and like landed on the pitcher's mound. Well, I think the British was reset to football. Like he could fire from the goal mouth at such and such a White Hart Lane, for instance.
Yeah, that's just whoa.
Bring it down on I don't know Tottenham Hotspur.
Oh, geez, again. Why are you talking about Spurs? I'm an Arsenal fan, and you're just on this show talking about Spurs and White Hart Lane.
Sorry.
That is awful.
Oh, man. Emirates Stadium.
There you go.
Are they still the sponsors?
Jeez.
I know some shit.
We mentioned Spurs on this show.
What was it before it was Emirates?
Highbury,
okay. Because my brother was an Arsenal fan from way back, so it would have been Highbury back then.
Oh, what an absolute ledge. Yeah, those old stadiums are so cool. They're so awesome how you have people like living, houses like right next to it. Those
insane.
They're all going that style, and they just build these big kind of mega stadiums.
I don't know if I'd want some drunken yobbos cruising past my picket fence.
Dude, well, the Emirates.
But now Big Bro is he's a Brighton Seagulls fan, of course.
Oh, wow.
Are they still in the PSL?
He's Brighton based, is he?
He is.
Phoenix went to Brighton on the weekend. He went to 3 skate parks there.
Jeez.
It's
big mission.
As the Sky Striker flies, Brighton looks close to Bournemouth on a map because you just think coast.
But it's like 3 hours on the train, isn't it?
It's a nightmare to get to. You basically have to go all the way to London and then down. Yeah. On the train, it sucks. But there you go.
Correction, I did not get my tactical battle platform at Bournemouth. I'm confusing your station with another.
Do you reckon?
Boo to that. Oh, well. One of these days, Benjamin, we will be united.
No, I'm saying that to get to Brighton from Bournemouth, you have to go. Yeah. You have to go from Bournemouth to London and then down.
Nobody needs to do that.
But you did get that from Bournemouth Station. I can't have that.
You say so.
No, well, you say so.
Well, I'm retconning that because there's
that
no way.
That is my favourite story.
There's no ways I went into London to then spit back out to get to
Clapham Junction.
No. It was a straight shot. Where
did you get it? I love that. It could have just been anywhere. You were like, I gotta meet a guy at a station.
About 90 minutes along the coast from Brighton.
Oh,
I'll look it up on a map and I'll tell you. I mean, this was about 15 years ago now. So Ben,
S-Jub's coming to our shores and just hoovering up Joe toys, Action Force toys, and then taking them off the island.
I'm doing the very best I can to pick them clean.
Yeah, I'm going to get a carded figure. I'm going to get one. I just need one as an example. And it's more than likely going to be a Ninja Force, I think. They just seem like a good price point. And they...
Sure.
Yeah.
You are all about the Ninja Force at the moment, man.
I very much am.
Watch this space. Oh, Ben, a little follow-up on previous episodes. Did you watch Mario Brothers 1993?
No. I did take Scout, my 4-year-old, to see Sonic 3, though, at the cinema, and I haven't seen Sonic 1 and 2. And I thought, Jim Carrey, I wish, he's sort of semi-retired, hasn't he? And I was like, it's weird to see him in a film. He's still got it, man. He's still funny. Because he said after the second one that was it. He's retired. And then, quite honestly, on the red carpet, he was like, I need cash. So Sonic 3.
Money needs money, man. The guy's made enough of it, but
He's a great artist, though. Have you seen some of his stuff? He's a great painter.
I mean,
it's joyous. It's amazing. He paints on these.
he's not everyone's cup of tea, but like,
huge
there's
canvases.
genius in that man.
Yeah.
Sorry to say. In multiple spheres. Anyway.
So no, I did not watch. I don't know where I'd probably have to rent it. I guess I don't know where that would be. But I'll chuck it another watch. No problem there. I'm currently rewatching The Wire.
Is that site blocked in your region?
Yeah,
Because Australia, you can't use it in Australia.
No,
I come
you
to
just-
South Africa to go to the bay.
Oh my days, do you? You can
No, I
find
don't, but my friends do.
a proxy of it. That's what you do. Yeah, I kind of
VPN.
stopped doing that. I'll just rent it. It's fine.
If you can find it available for rent, I mean, sometimes these things fall through the streaming services.
Do they?
Good luck to you.
They fall through the
maybe. I don't know.
cracks.
Not eBay. YouTube probably is your best port of call.
We need to tell everyone to go and follow the Swish Pop.
Yes.
Get over and follow this dude, because he's going to send me some other bits as well. So, yeah.
All
maybe-
right. We're talking Instagram or an actual website?
I am talking Instagram at
Nice.
Swish Pop, I think.
Swish pop.
Let me just... What does that mean? No one knows.
It's
Well,
a
look,
mystery.
It's there.
It'll be in the show notes, I think, if I have
Yeah.
presence of mind to include it. But we have been chasing Joe, haven't we?
We have been. That is literally all I'm doing in my life is buying Joe comics and doing this show. It's a wild ride.
For the next 3 years and some change, and then toys. Yes.
Yeah,
Chasing plastic?
toys, something. We got.
Chasing
I'm always
ink.
chasing something. It would be. Oh, I don't want to think about this show ending. It's like my one rock in the stormy seas of life. I'm anchored to this show.
This show,
So,
at least in Chief's estimation, wasn't going to last past episode 16.
Oh, we
I
blew
want to know,
past
have
16.
we surpassed your tenure on Talking Joe? Do you know how
Yeah.
long you were with that show?
Am I a flight risk? Is this what you're trying to say?
Not around me, you're not. I'm going to keep you buckled into that seat, my
I mean,
friend.
I'm not going anywhere.
You ain't
I've
failing.
got books to buy.
Exactly. You've got a financial commitment to this show. I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah, I love the comments. Do more comments. Get over to Instagram at BenFlyingRetro. BenFlyingRetro.
The hour is late.
Message me there. If you want to hear more of my ramblings, I've got a podcast, another podcast with my wife, People Who Play. That's a weekly show. You can find that over on Substack. S-Jubs, they
GI
know
Joburg,
where to
baby.
find you. I mean, there's only one
Yes,
place
sir.
literally only one place to find you. And I mean that.
I'm pretty much off grid at the moment, but GI
Yeah.
Joburg on YouTube and on your podcatcher of choice. We are
You're
here.
like Jason Bourne. You've got multiple passports. You're off grid. And that's about it.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
look,
But you,
Bowser.
hey, Bowser,
There we go.
rent it. Give us a report back next time.
I will do.
let's
Until
get out of
next
here.
week.
Yo, Joe.